So let us start today's lectures. So yesterday we have learned about different types of operators, majorly three types of operators. That is unary operator, binary operator, and ternary operators. So, so we have seen different options for this unary, increment and decrement operators. Okay, so that we already studied. Then ternary operators, so binary operators, arithmetic operators that we have learned. Then concatenation operator, string concatenation operator, that is also plus operator. So we have seen this example. Then assignment operator. So types of assignment operators: simple assignment, chain assignment, and compound assignment or arithmetic assignment. Okay, so that we already studied. Okay, so this chain of this assignment uh, that is not allowed in C, but that is allowed in Java. You can write A is equal to B is equal to C is equal to D is equal to 20. Okay. Okay. Then relational operators less than, greater than, equal to. Then we have learned bitwise operator and then short circuit operators. Okay. So these are the logical operators that we have seen, and we have already seen the difference between bitwise operator and short circuit operators. Okay. Then we already run what is expression, combination of variable, literals and operators, that is called expression. Okay, and how we can evaluate any expressions. So we give the more priority or higher priority to the unary operators, then next priority to binary operator, and then ternary operator, and last priority goes to assignment operator that we already seen. And again we have learned typecasting and conversion. Okay, so we have seen there are two types of typecasting, that is the implicit typecasting and explicit typecasting. So this implicit typecasting also called as widening, and explicit typecasting is also called as narrowing. Okay, so also this implicit typecasting that is called upcasting and explicit called downcasting. Okay, so and we have seen this implicit typecasting that is happens automatically. Now in implicit typecasting, we are assigning smaller data type value to bigger data types variable. Okay, that means we are putting small box in a bigger box, so there is no loss of any data. So that happens automatically, and who will do that? Compiler will do this conversion automatically, and that conversion is called implicit typecasting and conversion. Okay, and then second, that is explicit typecasting. So here assigning bigger data type value to smaller data type variable. Okay, so in that case, that means we are putting a bigger box into smaller box, so there may be some loss of data. Okay, and such type of conversion, so that programmer required to explicitly do that conversion by using this typecast operator. Okay, so that we have seen, and this is also called as a narrowing or downcasting that we already studied. Now today we will learn about different flow control statements. Okay, so what is flow control statement? That means in which order the statement will be executed at runtime. Okay, so during the execution of program, so how the statement will be executed, so that decided by control flow statement. And how many control flow statements are in Java? So there are three major control flow statements in Java, also in C. Okay, so selection statement, iterative statement, transfer statement. Okay, so these are the three types of statement. So selection statement, if if else. Okay, then switch case statement, these are the selection statement. Okay, so uh, if there are multiple cases, then we use generally the switch statement. Okay, so iterative statements are while, do while, for, and for each loop. Okay, so that is the new for loop, that is the I think that is in JDK 5 version. So that is uh, included in JDK 5. Okay, so for each loop. Okay, so then this iterative statement, that is the group of statement which are executed repetitively. Okay, so then transfer statement to transfer control from one place to another place. Okay, so we use break statement. Generally, we use break statement in switch case statement. So after each case, we write the break statement to break the execution, and control will be transferred to outside of that switch statement. Okay, then continue statement, return statement, try catch finally. These are also the transfer statements. Okay, so try catch finally, that we will learn in exception handling. Here we will see about break, continue, and return. So we will start with selection statement. Okay, so you already know this if syntax of this if statement. So we write the if, and then we write the uh, condition. Okay, or we can specify the uh, boolean type argument to this if. Okay, so we write if, we can write a relational expression that returns boolean value. Okay, so that's why here I have written this b, it should be a boolean type. It should be boolean type, or this statement should return boolean type value. Okay, so we can write relational expression here, or we can write boolean value. Boolean value we already know, true and false, these are the boolean value. Okay, and if this condition is true, then execute if blocks. If this condition is false, then execute else block. Everybody knows this. Okay, then uh, argument to if must be boolean type, otherwise we will get the compile time error. Okay, so instead of uh, we will directly go onto the practical. So and then we will see this if statement and switch case statements. Okay, so I will open here control flow. I have written some programs here. Okay, now this argument to this if, that must be boolean type or return boolean type value. Okay, so here example given, this here x is equal to 10, 10 is integer, or x is integer type, and I have written here if x is greater than 20, so it returns false. It returns false. So else block will be executed. Statement within else block will be executed. So everybody knows this. Okay, so uh, here instead of this we can directly write here. You can write the relational expression, or you can write here anything. Suppose I write here boolean value, that is true. Okay, so if I write here boolean, then this condition is true, it will return hello world. Okay, and if I write here false, then it returns hi. Okay, if you want to see this program, then what is the file name? If.st. Okay, so here we write Java C, then program name if.st.java. Compile successfully, and then we write here Java if.st. Okay, so it returns, it displays the high message because we have passed here the false. So if this returns false, then else block statement within else block will be executed. Okay, now next we will see so this program. Okay, now if we here we pass suppose 0. Okay, here integer x is equal to 0, and I have written here if x. Okay, then it is which statement will be executed, which block, if block will statement within which block, which if block will be executed, it will not execute it. It will give some error because the 0 is not the Boolean value, but it is valid in C. Okay, we consider 0 means false and 1 means true. In C, if you write this program, so that will be execute. But if you use this 0 and pass this to if, okay, or 1 to if, then it will give some errors. Okay, so some compile time errors. So we will try to if st1. Okay, so here I write Java C and I write if st1 dot Java. It compiles, not compile. What is the error? Incompatible type. So that's why in Java we will not consider 0 as false and 1 as true. Okay, so then we will move on to the next program, that is okay. So here I have written here boolean b is equal to true and I pass b is equal to false. Okay, then what is the output of this program? Anybody? Yes. What is the output? Uh, which statement will execute, or it will give some error? Suppose before that, suppose I write here, suppose I write one more program here, suppose new, and then Java, suppose here name is demo, and I write here if I will declare one variable integer, suppose x is equal to 10, and then I write here if x equal to suppose 20, and then here I have written statement in this is the if block. Okay, and here I will write else block also. So I write here hi. So what is the output?
Sir, only the else block will be executed.
Only the
Else block will be executed.
yeah, correct, because x value of x is 20. Oh, sorry, x is 10, but we are checking here x is 20 or not. Okay, so x is not 20, so this returns false. So else block will be executed. Correct. Okay, so now here I have written here boolean b is equal to true. Okay, and I write here if b is equal to false, then which statement will execute?
Hi, else block.
Yeah, yes, else block will be executed. Okay, so that means we can pass here the statement which returns true or false. Okay, now if I write here equal to false, or here I write here suppose true. Okay, then what is the output?
Hello.
Hello will be the
Out.
output. Yeah, correct,
Yes.
correct. Okay, and so now what we conclude here, we can pass Boolean type values to if. Okay, so another program that we will see, that is program 3. Okay, now here this else part and this curly braces that are optional. Okay, so here I have written if true, and I have not specified any uh, curly braces or else part, that is not written here. So this is valid or invalid? Here I have written only one statement allowed, and it should not be declarative. Okay, so this is valid. Without curly brackets, we can write the statement, but only one statement that we can write. Okay, and that should not be a declarative statement. Suppose this is if st3 program. Okay, so we will see if st3 dot java java if st3, so it displays the hello message. Okay, that means this statement below this f that will be executed. Okay, now suppose I write here, instead of this, I write here integer x equal to suppose 10. Now this is valid or invalid?
Invalid.
Invalid, because it should not be a declarative statement. So we will verify this. So we will write here c if t3.java. So only one statement allowed. Okay, so declaration not allowed here. So you can read the variable declaration. Declaration not allowed here, only the statement allowed. Okay, so we can write only one statement without this curly braces below this if, but that should not be a declarative statement. Okay, so that is the point here. But if I write here curly braces, then this is valid or invalid?
Valid.
It is valid.
Valid.
Okay, within curly braces, declarative statement is valid. But without this curly braces, we are not allowed to declare any variables. Okay, so we will see this is valid. Okay, it will not print any, but it will compile the Java. Okay, so that is valid. But if you remove this curly braces, then that is not valid. Okay, so we cannot write the declarative statement, single statement with this if. Okay, but in if we write that is in curly braces, then that is allowed. So this is something about if statements. Okay, so if and else statements, and you already studied this if else ladder and all this. So here we will learn only the simple syntax. Okay, so next we will see here same I have written here integer age is 20. If age is 22, then else block will be executed. Here I have written true, then if block will be executed. Okay, syntax I have written. Same thing here I have written. So 0 means false in C and C++, but not in Java. So it will give some error in incompatible type. Similarly here I have written x is equal to 10 and x is equal to 20. So this 20 is not a assignment statement. Okay, this is also here. Observe, this equal to is not a comparative operator. Okay, so that is the assignment, and it will not return any true or false. Okay, so that's why this is also incompatible type. Okay, now here I have used double equal to. Okay, that is the relational operators. So that will execute the else part, because x is not 10, x here we have assigned 22x, and that is false, and then else block will be executed. Okay, so similarly here, same example I have written here. B is equal to true and B is equal to false, then high will be display, and then false, then this is correct, then hello will be display. Okay, so else part curly braces and else part and curly braces, that are optional. So without this only we can write only one statement, and that should not be a declarative statement. Okay, so here also we have verified this single statement. Here without statement you can terminate if statement without writing any statement, that is also valid. Okay, that is called empty statement, and here this is declared, this is invalid, but this is valid, that we have already verified. Now here switch case statements. Okay, if there are several options available, then it is recommended to use switch case statements. Okay, so because we can also use if statement, if else ladder also, but there is a readability problem. Okay, so if we if there are multiple options are available, then it is recommended to go for switch case. Okay, for readability purpose. Okay, so here syntax you already know. Okay, and this x we are passing here switch to x, and this x is should be integer. It should be integer or character. It should be integer or character. Okay, so according to this value of this x, the corresponding case will be executed. So you already know, and if case not found, then default case that will be executed. Okay, now this x allowed data types at x, it should be byte, short, character or integer. Okay, so the byte range is between minus 128 to plus 127. So we can specify this number. Okay, also short also have some range. Okay, so that is also of type integer. Then character, so we can pass also character to this x. Okay, so integer, that is also allowed. Okay, so not allowed data types, boolean, we cannot pass boolean data types or data or boolean type value to this switch. Okay, also we cannot pass long, float and double. Okay, because this long, float and double, we have too large values range. Okay, and generally we do not have this much of cases. So the long, float and double, so that is not allowed to pass to this switch. Okay, so this is about switch. Now here you can see these curly braces are mandatory. Okay, if you write here integer x is equal to 10 and then switch, and then we pass this integer value variable to this switch, and there is a curly braces, then it is valid. Okay, so it will execute. Then statement should be under case or default. Okay, so this system.out.println hello, it should be under this case or under default. So if you write without this case and default statement, the statement system.out.println, then it is invalid. It should be within case or within default case. Okay, so that is the second point. Now here what is this? constant expression. Here I have written here integer x is equal to 10, integer y is equal to 20, and I pass x to the switch. So x is 10. Now here this statement will execute and then break. Now here I have written here y. Okay. So this y, that is the variable, that is not the constant. Here we require to pass the constants expression. Okay, we require to write the constant expression, or we can write here the characters. Okay, so that's why it is invalid. Now here, what is this? Okay, that is allowed. Okay, I have written here we can write 10 plus 20 plus 30. So this type of we can pass. Okay, constant expression we can pass to this case also. Now default case is optional, so no need to write the default case. Okay, so here I have written only the case within this switch, so there is no need to write the default case, that is valid. Okay, and this case and cases are also optional, no need to write the cases, only write the default case. Okay, that is also valid. Okay, so you cannot write, we already seen switch with curly brackets, so without any statement, that is also valid. That means both cases and default is optional. Now here example, so inside the switch it is possible to declare the default statement at start. Oh, default statement you can write at the beginning, you can write at the end, you can write at the middle also. Okay, so that is also valid. Okay, then we go for next iterative. We have seen selection statement, so if statement and switch case statements. Okay, now we will go for iterative statement. Okay, so different iterative statements are, so we have seen while, do while, for, and for each statement. These are the different iterative statement or looping statement. Okay, so we will go for this first while loop. Okay, so here question is when we should go for while or do while or and for. Okay, so when we should go for while or do while and for. Okay, so if we know the number of iterations, okay, if we know the number of iterations, then generally we go for loop. Okay, because we are specifying initial condition, final conditions, okay, and then increment. So we know how many iterations or how many times this for loop we want to execute. Okay, so if we know the number of iterations, then we go for loop. And if we do not know the number of iterations in advance, then generally suggested to go for while or do while loop. Okay, so that is the point here. Okay, so next so here print hello 10 times. Okay, example given here. So we know we want to execute the statement within this 10 times. So we go for loop. Okay. And here example, read and perform some operation on result set or data set. Then we do not know how many records are there. Okay. Suppose there is a file and file contains some records. So we don't know how many records are in that file. So, and we want to read each and every record in the file. So in that case, we can go for while or do while. Okay. Now, similarly here, curly braces are optional. In while loop, curly braces are optional. So you can see this second condition. This is also valid. Okay. Now here, while true, this curly braces, without this curly braces, that is invalid because this is the declarative statement and this is not the declarative statement. Statement should not be declarative. Okay, so here we have written the declarative statement below this while without curly braces. That's why it is invalid. Okay, now here in curly braces, that is valid. Declarative statement within this curly braces, that is valid. That we have already seen in the if statements. Okay. So same here about this while. Now here, which are valid and which are invalid, that we will see. So I have written here while true, then so what is wrong here? Unreachable statements. So I have written here while true. Okay. Then system.out.println hello. Okay. So uh, this will execute, hello will execute, but this statement hi, that will not be reachable. That's why it will give some error. Is it correct or wrong? While true hello, and then below that while return hi. Generally, if this is true, then execute the statement within the while loop. Okay. So this while loop will be execute, but it will be execute infinite time. Okay. So because this condition always true, this condition is always true, and this hello that will be execute. And but in that case, if you write here hi below that for loop, then this statement will unreachable. That's why it it will give some error message, that is invalid. Okay. And that compile time error, that is the unreachable statement, that error that we will display. Okay, getting this? Okay. Then similarly here while false, then this statement high statement will be executed. Generally, if the condition is false, then the statement outside this while, that will be executed. Now in that case, the statement within this while loop, that is hello, that will be unreachable. So this is also invalid. Okay. So remember this. Now here I have written integer a is equal to 10, b is equal to 20, and right here while a is less than b. Okay. So this is true. A is less than b, because a is 10, b is 20. Then hello will be executed. So you can see this is valid, and it will not give any error. But hello, that will be print infinite number of times. Okay. So hello will be print infinite number of times. If you write here the relational expression, if you pass the relational expression a is less than b, that time this program will execute, but this hello will print infinite number of times. But if you write here true or false, okay, then if you write here true, then this is invalid. Okay, so unreachable statement. Similarly here, integer a is equal to 10, this is a is greater than b, so high will be printed. Okay, so that is valid. You observe the difference. If you write here boolean, you pass boolean, then this will not execute it. But if you pass relational expression, then it will valid. So this is valid, it will execute. Okay. So similarly for do while. Okay. So you already know the while and do, difference between while and do while. Okay. So the syntax for when we use do while, if we want to execute the statement within this do while at least once. Okay. If we want to execute loop body or statement within this uh, do while loop at least once, then we should go for do while loop. Okay. Now here syntax for do while, do then body, and then while, and bracket we write the condition. Now this b, it should be a boolean type. It should be a boolean type or a relational expression that returns boolean value. Okay. Now similarly here I have written do, and inside this I have written the output statement to print hello, and I have written here true. I have passed true to this while. Okay. So this is valid. Okay, but it will print hello infinite number of times. That is the infinite loop. Okay, so this condition is always true. So the statement within do while loop, that is always execute, and this is the infinite loop. Okay. Now similarly here, integer I is equal to 10, and then do, then hello, and here I pass I is less than 10. Okay, so I have written here I plus plus. Okay, so while I is less than 10, so I is initially 0. Okay, so this loop, that this is true. Okay, then execute hello statement, then increase I, that is 1, that is also less than 10. So again execute. So 10 times this statement will be execute. Okay, so similarly here, do, then hello, and here I will pass true. Okay, so condition is always true. Okay, so statement within this do while, that will be execute, but here it will give unreachable error, because this high statement, that is never reach. Okay, so that will give unreachable error. Okay, so you see here also we are passing boolean constants. Okay, boolean expression or boolean constant here, so it will give unreachable error. But if we pass here the this conditional relational expression that returns true or false, then it will be valid. Okay, similarly here, uh, we have written here false. Okay, that is also invalid, that is unreachable statement. Okay, false means this inside statement hello, that never reach. Okay, so that it will give unreachable error. Okay, then here if we write here the do and then semicolon without body and then while true, this is also valid. Okay, without any statement, do while without any statement. Okay, now here this is invalid, so do and there is no statement within this do while, then this is invalid. No body, at least one statement should be there. Okay, now this is also invalid, so single statement without curly braces, that is invalid. Okay, so curly braces we can write the declarative statement, same as uh, this if and then while statement. We cannot write the declarative statement without this curly braces. Okay, so with curly braces we can write the declarative statement, that is valid. Then for loop. So most commonly used iterative statement, that is the for loop. Okay, now the best choice when we know number of iterations, we already uh, learn. If we know the number of iterations, then generally we prefer to go for loop, and if we do not know the number of iterations, so then we go for while and do while. Okay, so syntax for this for loop here, for initial expression and condition, then here we can write increment or decrement, and this is the body loop. Okay, and flow of execution. So this is first we initialize the variable, then second check the condition. Okay, if condition is true, then execute, go for 3, then again increment. Okay, then verify the condition. Okay, if it is true, then execute the statement, then increment, verify condition. Okay, so in this way this statement will be, if this is false, then go out of this for loop. Okay, so in this way the for loop will be executed. So here how many times this first statement, initialization statement, will execute? Only once. Initialization statement that will be executed only once. Okay, so initially only I is equal to 0, then that statement will be executed. Then here verify the condition, it is less than what we are made the condition, and then execute the statement. Then after that increment, then condition. Okay, then statement, increment, condition, then statement. So only one time this first statement, the initialization statement, that will be executed from this we have seen. Okay, now here with for and without for. Okay, so without for loop, here we have written the 5 statements that print hello, hello, hello. Okay, so this is without for loop 5 times, and here we want to print hello 5 times. Then we can write here I is equal to 0, I is less than 5, I plus plus, and it will print hello how many times? 5 times. Okay, not 10 times, here 5 times, because here we have written here less than 5, 0 to 5. Okay, so that is simple. Now curly braces, that is also optional. Okay, so we can write a statement that should not be a declarative statement. Okay, now this is not declarative statement. Now this is declarative statement, then it is invalid, same as if and then while do while. Okay, now declarative statement you can write within curly braces. If there is only a one statement and that is declarative, then write that is in curly braces, that is valid. Without curly braces, that is invalid. So initialization part is optional. Here there is no need to write the initial part. Okay, so that is valid. You can write condition and then increment or decrement statement here. Okay, so that is valid. Now more than one initialization is not possible. Okay, so more than one initialization is not possible. That is invalid. We cannot initialize more than one variable. Here integer I is equal to 0 and double j is equal to 10.8. So this is not valid. It will give some error. Okay. Now here declaration of same type of variable is possible. Declaration of okay. Okay. So here integer I is equal to 0 and j is equal to 0. Okay. So here declaration of same type of variable is possible. So declaration of different types of variable is not possible. Okay. So this is the point here. Now conditional part is optional. Okay. So conditional part is optional. Similarly, in previous example, we have seen the initial expression in for loop. Now here we will see the conditional part in for loop. That is also optional. No need to write. Okay. So compiler provide true. Compiler provide true. Okay. And then this is valid. Okay. Then increment decrement part is optional. Okay. And so every part is optional. Okay. So initialization, that is optional. Then increment decrement, that is also optional. Then here conditional part, that is also optional. Okay. So here we have not written here the increment decrement part, that is also valid. And we have not written any part here, so that is also valid. So infinite loop, because condition is always true. Okay, so this is infinite loop. So because here condition is always true. Okay, so unreachable statement, when we will get this unreachable statement. So here I is equal to 1, I is greater than 0, and I plus plus. Yeah, so I is greater than 0. Okay, so I is 1. So I is greater than 0. This is true. Then it will execute hello. Okay, and increment, that will be, so increment, that will be 2. That is always greater. Okay, so that's why infinite loop will be formed. Okay, so able to identify unreachable statement. Able to identify unreachable statement. Okay, so here, yeah, here condition is true. Okay, so this statement never reach. Okay, so that's why it will give error. Okay, so this gives infinite loop and this is unreachable statement. So that is the error we will receive. Okay. Now here for, okay, we have seen about for loops. Okay. Now here for each loop. So that is introduced in JDK 1.5. Okay. So specially designed to retrieve the element of an array. Okay. So access is successive. What is the time? 4:42. Okay, 23. Okay. Access is successive element of an element without being associated with the indexing. Okay, also called as enhanced for loop. This for each loop also called as enhanced for loop. Okay, it determines its number of steps from size of an array. Syntax is here. Okay, for, then type, here variable, then colon, then array statement to repeat. Okay, now to print element of one dimensional array using the normal for loop. Okay, so this is the normal for loop. We have seen initial condition, then initial statement condition, and then here increment. Okay, so x is array, and we have used this length variable to find the length of this array. Okay, number of elements in this array, and this is the normal for loop that we already know to print the elements of an array. Okay, now to print element of one dimensional array using the for each loop. Okay, now here x is array. Okay, and here the for each loop, here integer x1 is equal to x and then x1 of I. For each x1 of I in x, print each x1. That is the meaning of this. Okay, so for each x1, okay, so this is the x1. For each x1 in x, print x1, then I will be incremented here, then print x2, x3, x1, means each element, to print the each element in the array. Okay, so that is the for each loop that we will see the examples. So I think time is over, so we stop here, and tomorrow we will see some transfer statement. So that is very small part remaining, and then we will see 2-3 examples on this for each loop. Okay, so break statement, continue statement, and return statement. So that we will learn tomorrow. Okay, so we stop here. Thank you. Anybody already you have studied this? Only revision I have given. So thank you. Any doubt? Anybody have? डाउट है किसी को? कोई समझ में नहीं आया? समझ में आया सभी? Okay, because this is the basic. Okay, this is the fundamental. But revision is necessary. That's why I have shown this is PPTs on this control statement. You already learned this control statement, but revision is necessary, and some conditions I have shown to you, so that when we write a program, so we will write the syntax correctly. Okay, so thank you.